probably heard both. Always prune your tomatoes for healthier plants and bigger harvests. Or don't prune, or, or you'll get fewer tomatoes. I know it's confusing, but believe it or not, both can be true. The real answer is it depends. In this video, I'll show you how and when to prune your tomato plants to get the biggest, healthiest harvest possible, even in small spaces. Hi, my name is Linda, and I'd like to welcome you to Veggie 360, where you'll learn how to grow great tasting veggies year-round, even in small spaces. As tomato plants grow, they produce suckers, those little side shoots that grow where the leaf meets the main stem. Suckers can eventually grow into full fruiting stems, giving you more fruit, therefore more tomatoes. But if left unchecked, they can lead to a wild, overgrown jungle with poor airflow, hidden fruit, and a higher risk of disease. So, should you remove them? Well, that depends on what kind of tomato you're growing. Determinate or bush-type tomatoes will grow to a predetermined height, set the bulk of their fruit in a relatively short period of time, and then they're going to be done. Don't prune the suckers because you're actually going to be reducing yields. Dwarf tomatoes are going to stay relatively compact like the determinants, but they're going to be producing fruit all season long. For this type, you also don't want to sucker these, except to improve airflow if needed. Now, indeterminate tomatoes, like this cherry tomato here, are going to keep growing and fruiting all season long, so they're going to get quite large. They're going to benefit the most from pruning or suckering. If you have any questions on what type of tomato that you have, check the back of the label and it will tell you determinate, dwarf, or indeterminate. How much you should sucker or prune your indeterminate tomato plants is going to depend on two main things. How much space do you have, and how are you growing and supporting the plants? If you're lucky enough to have plenty of space and a strong support system like a trellis or cages, sturdy cages, or floor to weave, then you can go ahead and just leave most of the suckers. You want to leave the suckers because each sucker is a potential fruiting stem, which means more tomatoes per plant. As long as you have the support system that can support the weight and the size of the plant, it's a great way to maximize yield. If space is tight, like it is in my garden where I'm trying to grow more in less space, you'll want to prune more heavily in order to control the size and shape of the plants. I usually train my tomato plants to 2 to 3 main stems and go ahead and just remove the suckers early on in the season. Small suckers can simply be pinched off, whereas larger suckers should be cut cleanly with pruners to avoid stressing the plant. If, however, you happen to miss a sucker, no big deal. Don't worry. At that point, just go ahead and leave it be, because removing the large suckers can do more harm than good. As the season progresses, and diseases like early blight and septoria leaf spot start showing up, then I tend to adjust my strategy. I allow some suckers to grow because the extra foliage will help provide more photosynthesis for the plant. It also helps shade the fruit, which reduces the risk of sun scald. That extra foliage also shades the blooms, which will reduce the temperature and then can help improve the pollination rate during those really hot spells. Throughout the season, though, I do selectively prune to improve the airflow, manage the plant's overall size, and then help the plant stay healthy and productive. Your climate also plays a role in how much to prune. I happen to live in a very hot, humid climate where fungal leaf spot diseases are common. So good airflow is absolutely critical for plants to stay healthy and productive. As a bonus, you can root those suckers to grow new plants for free. All you have to do is to just put the sucker in water. A couple of days later, the roots start to grow, and then you can plant it in your garden. Or you can just go ahead and plant it directly in the soil, keep it shaded and well watered, and then it's just going to take off growing. It's a great way to get a second crop of tomatoes without having to start from seed. No matter which type of tomato you're growing, indeterminate, determinate, or dwarf, there's some leaf pruning tips that can help you grow healthier, more productive plants. First, trim any leaves that touch or are close to the ground. This will help prevent any splash up from soil-borne diseases. Remove suckers below the first flower cluster. Thin, crowded foliage to improve airflow because those dense leaves can trap moisture and invite diseases. This is especially important for the dwarf varieties, which tend to have large overlapping leaves. Always prune off any diseased leaves that you see. If you see spots or signs of disease, remove these leaves right away to help reduce the spread of disease. But here's the critical part. Remember to sanitize those pruners. It's the best way to reduce the chances of cross-contamination. A quick wipe with a Clorox wipe or a spray with isopropyl alcohol works great. If this video helped you, please share it with your fellow gardeners or anyone trying to grow their own tomatoes. Let's grow more gardeners together and build a thriving food-growing community. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye now.